By our founding partner Proline. Must be 18 plus to bet in store, 19 plus online, and you must be an Ontario resident. Thank you for joining us. I'm Lindsay Dunn, joined by my amazing co-hosts Dan Riccio and Cabbie, who's in a new top secret location. Dan is still wherever really. Dan may be.
I'm in my lair.
According to the chat, I'm in prison somewhere, so eventually I'll get out. Yeah.
Good luck, homie.
In prison for jinxing sports teams. That is exactly what Dan did this weekend, and we will get to that in a moment. It was a fascinating weekend for sports fans. There was trades, there was moves, there was history made, and devastation on whatever sport you may follow, and it should be another exciting week. All the Toronto sports teams in action. Scepter's finally back on the ice. But we will start in the hard court. Raptors 905 are a perfect 13-0, while their big club, as some people like to call it, have lost their last 4 games. Tonight, they are in Miami. Both teams with their tails between their legs a little bit because they were knocked out of the NBA Cup. This is their first game since. And during practice here in Toronto before they flew to Miami, Mamu made a comment about how Darko Rajakovic kind of holds them all accountable and calls them out a little bit on the court. Here's what Darko had to say about the accountability he's hoping the team will bring and see in each other.
I think the culture that we have over here is that we are all keeping each other accountable. And I want players to keep me accountable as well. I'm trying to do my best to be prepared for every practice, shoot around, for every game, for every ATO, and if I'm not at any point of time, I want people around me to keep me accountable. I don't have all the answers. I don't have all the knowledge of the world. I'm trying to learn this team. I'm trying to learn the game of basketball. And that's what I really appreciate about this group is they're willing to listen and grow, So, and that's all you can ask for.
We'll see if they listen to him in practice and that they will grow and get a win tonight against a team that has a really interesting style play. They're not really setting screens. It's the first time they'll be taking them on where they're trying this new offensive movement. We saw Memphis do this a little bit, and it can be unique for a team to take on. But Dan and Cabbie, what are you hoping to see from them tonight? Dan, I'll start with you.
Well, I think there's a couple of things. You've had almost a week off to figure out some of the issues that have led to this recent mini slump that the Raptors are on. And while you're not getting RJ Barrett back in the lineup just yet, he's still nursing that knee injury. There are some things I'd like to see them do. And Mamu actually talked about this over one of the practices in the last week. And it's just analytics. They got to throw up more threes, chuck up the 3 ball a little bit more. They're bottom 5 in the league right now in 3 points attempted. And while I don't think the Raptors are ever going to be like up there with the Golden State Warriors chucking up 40 plus threes a game, they could do themselves a favor and get closer to the middle of the pack. Let's say add another 5 3 balls a game. And I think it's obvious 3s are worth more than 2s. Even my simple math can understand that. The Raptors in some of these close games can help themselves by getting a few more 3 balls off, especially with good shooters like Emmanuel Quickley and Brandon Ingram as well.
Listen, I'm going to stay optimistic. They're 15-11. If they put together another 15-11 and they're a 15-11 part of the season, then you take 10 extra profits. You get 32 units like Grant Cardone suggests. But listen, 15-11, 15-11, 15-11. That's a 45-point team. That's after 78 games. That's where Toronto is a playoff team. I like that it established its offensive identity during that 9-game winning streak, and then the defense followed. Obviously, things have changed a little bit as Toronto has dropped its last 4 and Miami has dropped its last 4. So I'm looking for tonight a little bit of a playoff light environment. Like it's not going to be just a random mid-December game because both teams are looking to get right. Both Miami and Toronto have players that can average 20 points a game. Miami's got Tyler Hero, Norman Powell, Bam Adebayo. Toronto has Emmanuel Quickley, Scotty Barnes, and Brandon Ingram. With 6 days off, we saw the Raptors look a little bit sluggish at times, but with 6 games off, hopefully they've gotten some rest. that a little bit of that fatigue is worn off, and these guys are sprinting up and down the court. And lastly, Lindsay, Scotty Barnes. I'm always optimistic to watch this young fella play. As we've been saying since our show's inception, he's been putting together an all-NBA, first-team, all-defense consideration. This dude is an elite rim protector. He's a positionless defender. He's elite at help defense. He's averaging 1.5 blocks a game, 1.2 steals per game, and he's top 10 in deflections, which is a fancy hustle stat. That will be tested because two things. My last two things. The Miami Heat present a number of challenges. They play with the highest pace, so that's 105 possessions per 48 minutes, 105.4. And finally, this translates into points because Miami's one of the highest scoring offenses in basketball, 122 points per game. So as Dan's suggestion, we need some three balls. Jacoby Walter, Mamu, IQ, BI. We need some three balls. Grady Dick come off the bench and hit a couple. Ochai Agbaji, where you at, bro? That's what I'm looking forward to tonight. Raptors in Miami.
Where you at? Make it rain threes. And then Cabbie will be happy. It'll be interesting. And you mentioned Norman Powell, obviously a former Toronto Raptor. He won with them in 2019. Storm and Norman Powell, also former Raptor on the team, was Davion Mitchell. He was with the team for a hot minute. He was traded in February. And he spoke to a local reporter in Miami named Tobin, who I will not dog for the quality of his video. If you are going to be listening, it is not lit at all, but I understand the grind when you're by yourself. Been there, done that. Here's what he had to say about the offensive opportunities he has found with Miami.
Just kind of curious from your year perspective, you seem super comfortable with all the teammates. Your assist numbers are way up. Is this just familiarity with everybody, or did you do anything in particular just to get to know everybody better, like from watching film on guys or anything like that?
No, I mean, I think that our offense gives me an opportunity to kind of showcase what I can do, and I feel like when I first got in the league, I can pass. I just got opportunity here. I got the ball in my hands a little bit more to make plays. So I'm kind of just doing. I came in the lead. In the lead, I was a guy who could guard and get my teammates open and score when I have to.
Very interesting take there. Also, thank you to everyone participating on YouTube right now in our chat under. I have to actually think of what it's under because I almost said it's under our name, but it's the Nation Network. Make sure to go like and subscribe. We have a live chat right now where one of our newer followers is questioning why we're talking about the Raptors right now instead of Leafs. Well, the Raptors play today. Also a huge storyline, what is going on with this team that also is on a bit of a losing streak. So it's interesting to see what happens. And then you go from that to Davion. Some fans really liked him because he made a lot of time for fans. He would be at 905 games, and when he was at a Raptors game or on the road, he would always sign autographs. But I heard multiple reports from people who were on the team or around the team that he could be definitely irritating, including a couple of incidents where he would be really giving it to the rookies last year when it was uncalled for, and it made a lot of the other players annoyed with him. And when we talk about basketball players who could potentially be annoying, who I actually adore, is Dylan Brooks. He had a big, interesting game.
Nice
Canadian.
segue.
Yeah,
seriously.
Dylan the Villain Brooks. They were taking on the Lakers, in which he ended up getting ejected. And I want to play a little bit of video where he got LeBron James heated. Heated. Just, oh yeah, wait for it. Yeah, and then, yeah, little chest bump. How you like this? Or he's like, how's your day? I hope you're having a great day.
LeBron's such a fake tough guy. I love LeBron's. I mean, there's like Russell Westbrook.
I can't believe you
did
that.
He's like, yo, stop playing with whatever he said. But he's such a fake tough guy. Later on in the game, when Dylan Brooks, he gave us his version of the Dylan Brooks hat trick, which is get a technical foul, hit a clutch three, which is not here, and then get yourself ejected. That is the Dylan Brooks hat trick. But then, like, after, Brooks hits the three-pointer, he chest bumps LeBron, and then LeBron is like, he walks away. And then as soon as a teammate comes over to grab him, then he starts acting tough, like, bro, relax.
Hold me back. Hold me back.
Hold me back. Yeah. You're not
the only hands guy. He's only putting hands on the refs, not anybody else.
Yeah,
in
and no
actuality,
objection
right?
for that? Like, come on. Like, what are we doing? Like, any other player
if Dylan Brooks did that.
500. Yes, exactly.
100%. Yeah. I couldn't believe, sorry, Cabbie, we're on the exact same page and exact same thought on that, is that if any other player did that, their ass would be out so fast. But LeBron, he's got, the Golden Gloves or whatever we want to say, that they're not going to touch him. He's not going to be removed. But Devin Booker, after the game, who obviously is Dillon Brooks' teammate, was asked about the little interaction that happened. He said, I mean, there's a history there. I love to see it. People always say everything's too friendly in the NBA. And then Dillon comes around and now it's too much. So he said he'd rather go the other way than be too much. And I remember like the Dillon thing a couple years ago in the playoffs, he called LeBron old. And I loved it. And I said, we need to have the toughness. People are soft and we have fake toughness. And then you have Dillon, who loves to stare at people across the court before the game to try to get in their minds.
Yeah, and I want to salute how he's reshaped the identity of the Phoenix Suns. Wherever he's one of those irritants, and I love how he plays. He's one of those irritants that you love him when he's on your team and you hate to face him when he's on other teams. Brad Marchand is the comp in hockey, although Brad Marchand's a Hall of Famer and a Stanley Cup champion. Just the similar ways that they irritate their opponents. But he steps up when he plays the Lakers. Dillon Brooks is full Mamba mentality. 25.5 points against LA this season, shooting 60% from the field, 43% from downtown. I just love everything about his intensity, the offseason training, he's working himself into becoming a more not stable, but more consistent shooter and a producer for that team. It's him, the 1-2 punch is Devin Booker and Dillon Brooks, and they're 5 games over 500, 14-10 or 15-11, something like that. So, I love his game, and I'm a big fan of Dillon Brooks. I'm here for Dillon Brooks and Dillon Brooks.
Dillon Brooks, there was a bit of a villain that happened in the NBA, and that would be the fact that OKC lost. I don't know if we actually call it a villain, but it was shocking for many that watched the NBA Cup that tomorrow, the finals in Vegas, pretty much everyone predicting and expecting the Thunder to continue to win their way there, and handed their second loss of the season was by the Spurs. And Wemby was back, and I'm sorry, it's magical to watch him, but that game was intense. Cabbie, how shocked were you that OKC lost?
I was pretty shocked. I was watching it on Saturday night, Friday night. It was awesome. Like it was a doubleheader, and Wemby came up for the first time in his career, comes off the bench, and his impact is immediate. This guy is. When I spoke to Dwight Powell earlier this year, and he was Canada's center facing France at the Paris games, and I was like, what is it like to stand on the same court and have to play defense against Wemby in real life? He's like, before the game, I was thinking, okay, this guy's human. He's 7'3", 7'4", 7'5", whatever. The kid's still growing. He's only 22. But then when I stepped on the court with him, he's like, oh, this guy's really an alien. This guy is from another planet because of his 8-foot wingspan. So as it relates to OKC, they've weirdly become the villains a little bit. Like it's not quite that line from not Batman Begins, that line from The Dark Knight. You've been I mean, as LeBron's going through this, you're here for so long. What is it? I'm butchering the line, Dan. Help me out. It's you stay here for so long that you become the villain. I'm butchering the line.
Yes.
But
I would butcher it as well, but you're along the right lines there, Cap.
Somewhere in that universe. But Wemby was awesome. Castle was awesome. Dylan Harper was great. I was very surprised. We had in the group chat we had a bet going, like how many wins in a row. I think there were like, will they break the record for wins in a row? Yeah. Obviously, the day that we lock in the bet, it goes to So we jinxed them, but it was great to see. I think the NBA needed that. And now it's Spurs versus Knicks in the NBA Cup final in Las Vegas. That should be a good contest as well.
Yeah, you guys are just starting to learn the powers of Dan Jinxio, because anything I say, the opposite seems to happen. We'll have a little bit more on that later in the show. But, Wemby comes into that game, and he started on the bench, and it just changed everything completely. And it was the first time you kind of saw OKC struggle to find answers, and it was still a close game in the end. But, we just haven't seen OKC struggle much at all this year, just their second loss, of course. And really the other NBA Cup game, like you see the way the Knicks played, and honestly, Jalen Brunson, if anybody is going to give Shea a run for the title of best scorer in the league right now, it's Jalen Brunson, the way that he's playing with the New York Knicks. So it should set up for a pretty incredible NBA Cup final, especially with one of the new faces of the league, Victor Wembanyama, in there.
We have a big moment happening on the chat right now under the Nation Network YouTube. We are live, as always, at 10 a.m. If you're listening, my mom is in the YouTube chat, guys.
What?
I taught her how to use it. Yeah, my mom will not understand why anyone calls me grandma, but grandma Dunn is on the YouTube chat right now. So if you want to go talk to my mom and ask her questions about me, go for it. This is her first time ever
Keep
using
it G-rated,
this. But also,
people.
keep it G-rating is why I'm saying this right now, because my mom is now in the chat. But maybe something that was not G-rated was after the Leafs lost. I know a lot of group chats of mine were not G-rated. People were fuming. I'm sure some non-G-rated words were used in that Leaf locker room after they lost to the Oilers in 6-3. And this is apparently what went wrong, according to the Leafs.
How would you explain what happened in the third period?
I don't know, just not taking care of the puck, turning the puck over, and obviously not playing hard enough in front of our net. That's what have happened the last two games, I feel like, in the third.
Yeah, third period, definitely an issue. Dan, some fans feel like the sky is falling again. What would be your sixth fix? What happened with this team?
It's exactly what Oliver Ekman-Larsson said. They're just not defending hard enough right now. It's too easy for the Edmonton Oilers, especially starting in the third period, and they blew that game open. There's a lot going on with the Leafs, and I think some of it maybe is that little plague that's going around Toronto right now. William Nylander and Dakota Joshua were hurt, injured, or not injured, but illness. So maybe that had something to do with it, them not having the legs to keep up with the Oilers on Saturday. That's if you want to give them the excuse. But right now, they need to be a little bit better, and they need more out of their top guys. Like, you know, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl each have 3 points on Saturday night. Austin Matthews, a lot of zeros on the box score. And look, Matthews is still having a great year. The Leafs largely outscore their opponents when he's on the ice. But right now, they need more out of their captain. They need more of that offense out of their captain. So the sixth fix for me is pretty simple. And it is get William Nylander and Austin Matthews playing together. Because right now, Austin Matthews, and we're going to bring in some charts here, Austin Matthews has not really declined too much, but there is a decline of some sorts. Here are his numbers from the last 3 seasons. And then if you look at it compared to now, it's a much different player and a much different stat card. You can see blue is good, red is bad for those that are trying to figure out how to read those charts on YouTube. And there's a lot more red on the chart for Austin Matthews these days. The one thing that I absolutely notice is when he's scoring 60 goals, he's shooting the puck over 13 times per 60 minutes on the ice. Now that's closer to 11, which is closer to what he started at in his career. Still good enough for over 40 a year with a shooter as gifted as he is, but this Leafs team needs him to be a top 5 center in the league rather than the top 20 center he's currently playing at. I think the best way to do that is get him and William Nylander playing together. We've seen the depth scoring through the lineup start to pick up. So load up your top line and have a line that can really put your opponents on their heels. I think that's maybe something that Craig Berube should be trying here in the near future.
I'm going to follow you there on the depth presence because that's what I'm continually impressed by with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Listen, I know that the fan base gets up in arms quickly, but I want to just highlight some of the positives. After trading away Mitch Marner, the Maple Leafs are using a committee approach to make up for some of his production. So at times, Toronto's depth has provided some top line relief. On Saturday night, Toronto got goals from Easton Cowan, from defenseman Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and fourth liner Steve Lorentz. So getting contributions from up and down the lineup is crucial for long-term success. And we know that the fan base wants 2 to 3 goals a night from the top-end talent. And these numbers don't jump off the screen, but it demonstrates some balanced scoring. So in the month of December, Scott Lawton, Max Domi, Bobby McMahon, and Austin Matthews have registered 4 points. Again, these numbers aren't jumping off the screen, but it's a balance at scoring. What could be seen as problematic is no real reason for concern. William Nylander is scoreless in 7 games, and John Tavares has 1 goal in his last 10. Those guys are elite. They're going to figure it out. So it's just a matter of time before they start scoring again. And I just want to shout out Oliver Ekman-Larsson, as we heard in the clip that Lindsay had thrown to. After, on Thursday, we thought like, oh man, how long is this guy going to be out? Because he falls, his ankle bends the wrong way, but he was back on Saturday, and his resilience and ability to contribute offensively from the blue line immediately was a major plus. He scores his 5th goal in the second period, and so it's a nice in-season storyline that this guy's been able to bounce back so quickly, and he is contributing, because that's what the fan base wants in the 4 lines that Craig Berube puts out every game. Unfortunately for Toronto, it's only won one game in its last 4. One game in its last 4. However, Tuesday is a new day, and the Maple Leafs will be back to face the Chicago Blackhawks without Connor Bedard. So maybe a W is on the horizon.
You hope so. I always feel bad in moments like this just for fans that paid a lot of money because they want to see Connor play. He dealt with an upper body injury on the weekend. So obviously we hope he's okay, but it will be interesting to see how the Leafs respond. They need to respond when they take on Chicago. And when Dan, I know you talked a little bit about Austin Matthews and like, where is Poppy in the world? I'm curious and just listening to the fan base right now that a couple weeks ago when we thought, hey, the sky was falling and they were saying that they needed to fire Craigie Beam, we're like, is this an overreaction? Just how angry Leafs fans were with that loss. I was also a little surprised that a lot of them were upset with Hildebeest and his performance, but I really think that he was taking the brunt of this when he shouldn't have. What did you think of Hildebeest's performance on the weekend, Dan?
Well, he had to get the pull, and we saw Akhtiamov come in the third period there, and it's tough. If you're Dennis Hildeby, you've given everything to this team and saved them when Joseph Woll and Anthony Stolarz went down, and he's literally been the reason they were on that 4-0-2 run before getting the doors blown off by the Oilers on Saturday night. So I can't really put any of the blame on Hildeby. You look at the way the Leafs defended, and that would be my bigger concern of that game, is how, the Leafs are continually getting scored on with Morgan Rielly on the ice. And these are issues that they have yet to find fixes for. It's defensive issues more than anything else. You can't leave your goalies out to dry and expect them to consistently save the day for you. At some point, you've got to be able to help your goaltenders out. And right now, the Leafs are having more of that issue than they are a goaltending issue at this point of the season.
Yeah, I completely agree. I just was really shocked to see people doing that, but I know I shouldn't be shocked by the internet. But right now in our chat, somebody that's
guy makes a million saves. He's the best. Yeah. Guy makes a few less saves. He's the worst. Get him out of here.
Yep. Goaltending is terrible. But on our YouTube chat right now, I just asked Slush, like, hey, they kind of wanted to trade the entire team. I'm like, well, what do you want to trade for? And they said, with all due respect, we can't trade anyone. They have no value, and other GMs know that. They know that they're failing. The cupboards are bare. We have one number 1 pick in 2027 or 28. We are screwed. That is the mindset right now. It's like, okay, I don't.
It's okay. We can, as Brady Tkachuk told his fan base, just relax. It's okay. It's still early December. There's 60 more games to go, or 30 or 50 more games to go. That's okay. And guys will recharge during the Olympic break too. So it's all right.
And it could be worse. And this is why I will say it could be worse, because you could be a fan base called the Vancouver Canucks, where Dan, it finally happened. Quinn Hughes traded, many not enjoying what they got for him, but it's, I guess, not surprising that he was traded, but your just reaction to this and the fact that he left Vancouver before you.
Yes, that was definitely the joke on Friday when the breaking news dropped that Quinn Hughes was getting traded. I actually joked with somebody when we first announced the show off the roster, like, what do you think happens first? I leave Vancouver or Quinn Hughes? And it turns out Quinn Hughes is the one who ends up getting traded first, because this escalated quickly. And I'm surprised that it happened in season. I'm surprised it happened this far out from the trade deadline. But clearly, as Quinn Hughes said yesterday after his debut with the Minnesota Wild, it was time. And we saw that even with the Canucks, who played pretty well in beating the New Jersey Devils yesterday. But I want to bring this back to the Maple Leafs and kind of touch into what Slush mentioned there, in that the Leafs don't have the assets to trade and improve their team right now. They spent a lot of those assets last year. You think about Quinn Hughes, a player like this rarely ever comes available on the trade market. And he'd be a perfect fit for the Leafs right now. Probably the best fit you could possibly find for this group. They are in desperate need of a true stud number one defenseman. This guy is, without a shadow of a doubt, the second best defenseman in the league. And depending on who you ask, right there with Cale Makar for the title of best defenseman in the league. And I think if you're a Leaf fan, you should be frustrated that you can't even get a seat at the table to trade for Quinn Hughes right now because you don't have the assets to get it done. If you were to think about a Leafs comp for that trade that Minnesota gave up, it's 4 first-round picks. All those guys that they traded, roster players, were first-round draft choices, and they gave up another first-rounder in this upcoming draft. If you're thinking about a Leafs comparable for that trade, you're talking about probably Matthew Nyes, Easton Cowan, and Ben Danford, who's going to be on the Canada World Junior team and looks really good. But then it's also an unprotected 2028 first. Who knows what that is? That's the ultimate magic bag of beans. And you're talking about potentially giving up another top 5 pick because it's going to have to be unprotected to get a player like Quinn Hughes. It's a ridiculous trade for the Maple Leafs to make, one that probably doesn't make sense for them. And 2, it's just not really plausible because I don't think it's the trade the Canucks would have wanted anyways. So that's what I would be most frustrated about, is that you can't even get a seat at the table for the player that fixes a lot of the issues that are plaguing the Maple Leafs right now. And it's hard to criticize them for going after it last year in Mitch Marner's final year as a Maple Leaf. But you traded a first-round pick for Brandon Carlo. You traded a first-round pick for Scott Lawton. And I don't disagree with Brad Treliving's calculation that the Leafs should have gone for it as hard as they did last year, but maybe the players they identified to get them over the top last year, that's maybe where I would take issue with how Brad Treliving set his team up last season versus how he could have done it, because now you're left looking at, hey, we could have had Quinn Hughes, and that would have been something that could really set us up for a long-term future with Austin Matthews and Quinn Hughes leading this team.
Wow.
Wow.
I honestly,
today.
Yeah, sorry. I'm giving you a round of applause.
Bro.
Yeah. My eyebrow. Well, you mentioned not being able to get a seat at the table, and all I heard was seat. And then it made me think of how some people can't afford to get a seat at the Leafs games because some of those tickets are like a small mortgage payment. Mm-hmm. But we're going to hook up our fans. We have a really cool opportunity presented by Proline for people to get some of the most interesting seats in the house. Take a listen and watch this video and see how you can win.
What an experience from the most interesting seats in the house. Woo! Game day. If you don't record the workout, did it really happen?
When you're on a team that's struggling, it's usually, it's your stars and it's your leadership that's going to get you out of it.
2 or more goals in the first period. Let's go. I'm going with 23 to score tonight. Everything in moderation, except for pizza. Let's go. Woo. Okay. We got a game, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. 2 or more goals in the first period. We cashed. Thank you, Proline. This place is going bonkers.
It was going bonkers. It was a cool experience. Salute to OLG and whoever gets to sit in those seats on December 30th against the New Jersey Devils. Go ahead, Linz.
So make sure to go follow us on Instagram and I think TikTok, subscribe, all that stuff, and tag one of your friends. We have the videos posted on Instagram. It's pinned there for your chance to win. Please tag me. I want to go, or Dan. It looks really interesting and it looks fun. I'm excited, and I'm really excited to see how the Leafs bounce back tomorrow. And hopefully we'll have some positive news there. But when it comes to the NFL, a smorgasbord of storylines, some people might say. We had Grandpa Rivers out there making people cry. He was crying after to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs not making the playoffs for the first time in the Mahomes era. And then unfortunately, he tore his ACL. I don't care who you are, and if you hate that team, you don't want to see people injured. And from my understanding, it's he's not a jerk face. Just wild storylines. So Dan, I'm going to let you have dealer's choice and pick up where you want to start in the magical world of all the NFL storylines.
Well, I mean, the Chiefs storyline is huge. Obviously, they went 10-0 last year in one possession games, and this year they're 1-7 in one possession games. They just haven't been as clinical as they were and as they have been in the entire Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes era. And I want to say it's the first time. This is the craziest stat I saw yesterday. The first time since 1998 that the NFL playoffs won't feature one of Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, or Peyton Manning. The first time since 1990. I was just a little guy back then. You know, we're talking about over almost 30 years since that happened. So it's pretty crazy that this is going to be the new era of the NFL. And we're kind of seeing a regime change of the contenders a little bit here across the National Football League. My biggest game, though, was the Bills. And I was dancing on the Bills' grave a little bit too early.
Yeah, you were. Show the tweet. Show the tweet.
It's 21-0. You're in your bag, bro.
It's 21-0, 24-7 at halftime, and I hit the send button on this tweet. Statement game from the Patriots. Not even once thinking like, hey, Dan, never count out Josh Allen in a football game. How have you not learned this lesson before? And Josh Allen reminded me how you should never count him out in a football game. He did it against the Bengals last week, against the Ravens earlier this year, and now the AFC East is still up for grabs because Josh Allen went Super Saiyan in the second half against the New England Patriots, and they had no answers for what Josh Allen was throwing them. And Drake May, for as good as he was in the first half, had no answers in the second half for how to solve the Bills' defense, and that's ultimately what caused the change in direction for the New England Patriots in that game.
The game that I was really locked into and was in the NFC, and just another crazy stat here on StatMuse about Josh Allen versus New England. It was the Detroit the Detroit Lions versus the LA Rams, before I get into any kind of commentary, RIP Micah Parsons, ACL as well, is another big piece, a superstar in the league who goes down with a soft tissue injury. But the LA Rams aren't, the greatest show on turf, but instead the best show on television in Los Angeles. The stranger thing about the Rams is 3 years ago, they were 5-12 in 2022 in the upside down, but now they're 11-3. The Rams are favored to win the Super Bowl because second best point differential at plus 159. They have the leading contender to win NFL MVP in Matthew Stafford, who is 37, but the dude is unbelievable. All-pro receiver Devontae Adams, who went down with a hamstring injury. He's leading all receivers with 14 touchdowns. His name is Puka Nakua. This dude's running all over your defense. A career high 181 yards. This dude is physical. He's big. He's finding room in open space. He's trucking defenders. Like those four, and that's just on the offense. The Lions were missing 3 safeties, so they had backups in the secondary, which obviously helped LA rack up, let me check my notes, 519 yards of offense and 41 points. This is the best show in LA, the best show in the NFC, and the Rams are contenders for the Super Bowl because they're just unstoppable. They're a battering ram at 11-3. So the Bills gave us a lot of theater in the early window, and Rams versus Lions had the popcorn ready in the late window. It was an incredible Week 15, despite all the injuries to superstars, which happens, but that part's brutal. But the game itself was very exciting.
I know a lot of people were watching. Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for Rams Seahawks on Thursday, Cab, at Lumen Field down in Seattle. Huge NFC West matchup, and I don't know. The Rams gave it to my Seahawks a little bit earlier this year, and I got to say, as a Seahawks fan, even though they just squeaked by 44-year-old Phillip Rivers in a tough game, I don't have the most confidence going into the Thursday night against the Rams.
Dan, 6 field goals, bro. 6. That's your offense. Like Sam Darnold. Where's the superstar?
Shout out my guy Jason Myers, man. He's got the golden leg.
Yo, we needed a JSN touchdown for the parlay. We needed a K9-3 touchdown for the parlay. We needed a Zach Charbonnet touchdown for another parlay. There's a theme here. I was a little bit disappointed. I'm disappointed in your Seahawks, bro. 6 field goals.
Oh man, it was rough. That first half was tough. I'm watching that game. It's like 44-year-old noodle-armed Phillip Rivers, Grandpa Phil is just out there lighting it up with like 3 to 5 yard screen passes. They can't get to him because the ball's in his hand, out of his hand as quickly as possible. Shout out to Shane Steichen with a pretty good game plan with the old man behind center for the Colts the other day, but it was a tough watch for my Seahawks yesterday.
One question: was Grandma Lindsay rooting for Grandpa Rivers this weekend?
Absolutely, and you better have stats on Grandpa Rivers. I'm like, you go, 44-year-old Gramp, potential future Golden Bachelor. I don't know. No, he's not. I believe his wife is lovely, but
he's got 400 kids.
Yeah, 400 kids. That he completed his first NFL pass in 21 years ago when he replaced a now 63-year-old Doug Flutie in the second half of a game played in a stadium that no longer exists. And he became only the second grandfather to throw a TD in an NFL game. Do you know who the first was?
Oh, my goodness.
It is Brett Favre, I'll just tell you.
Oh,
Brett Favre?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Brett Favre. So interesting. And you said shout out to Noodle Arms. Just now that we're getting to know each other, we are the 3 best friends that anyone could have. That I have like 18 nicknames and one is actually Noodle Arms.
What?
If anybody is listening, it's because I have noodle arms. Yeah, I'm feisty.
How fast
but
do you throw a baseball? Like in the low 40s?
I'll let you know when we are at the Rogers Center throwing out that ceremonial first pitch that I will advocate all year for. You will see me bring the heat.
Yes.
Well, low 40s. I mean, maybe you'll touch Trevor Rogers, like his slider, which is like low 70s. Can you get up to 70?
Oh, you know what? We'll see. I'm already tired just thinking about it. Grandma Lindsay is already getting tired. But when we talk about the Blue Jays, we did an emergency pod on Friday because a lot of news happened. And right after our show, we found out that Rogers extended CEO and President Mark Shapiro. It's a 5-year extension. We spoke about that ad nauseum almost. You can go listen to it on our YouTube underneath the Nation Network. Some great points made there by my co-host. But there's a reported deal and then a deal that actually happened. That being Chase Lee. They signed him to a deal, and reported of Tyler Rogers, who has some of the most unique technique you will ever see a pitcher toss a ball. The memes, they were flying. You also have him being compared to Trey Savage because the release point of their pitches are the exact opposite. Take a look at this. If you if you were listening, incredible. It shows that Trey's is way up top, and then you got Rogers downtown, where all the people are. It's just fascinating that they happen to have the polar opposite style, and they're both on the Blue Jays, guys. And then there's also a funny moment that Dan showed of Marge Simpson, and
yes, well, we got little Marge celebrations where she looks like she's getting down there like Tyler Rogers does. And if you look at this, if you're watching along on YouTube, I mean, just imagine you get 6 innings of Trey Savage and then Tyler Rogers comes out right after. I mean, if you're a hitter, you're going to be twisted into a pretzel thinking about what the release point is coming from. And I think that's exactly what the Blue Jays are kind of thinking about. It is funny, Ross Atkins, one of the ongoing jokes of the Blue Jays front office is that they never get any guys that with great strikeout potential in the bullpen. And there's another talking about twisting you into a pretzel as far as Tyler Rogers pitches go. If you're the Blue Jays, the ongoing joke is, man, they need more strikeouts in the bullpen. So it's so on brand for Ross Atkins to go out and spend near $40 million on a reliever who doesn't strike out guys. He gets guys out at a great level. Like he's a
lot
really
of
good
ground
reliever.
ball outs. Yeah.
A lot of ground ball outs, but not a strikeout guy. So Tyler Rogers, welcome to the Blue Jays. You'll fit right in with the rest of the bullpen that gets a lot of in-play outs rather than the strikeout pitch, which is what a lot of teams around Major League Baseball value. Maybe seemingly more than the Blue Jays a little bit.
A couple of notes about his arsenal, if you will, because he's a submariner, and everybody there are a couple of photos on Reddit, like just you could see like the ligaments in his elbow from because his arm angle is so low, and people like this guy is like destined to have Tommy John surgery. but his velocity isn't that high. The slider, which is his deadliest pitch, which actually rises towards batters, as we saw in that video, and hit that dude on the Padres in the face. So, like, because his arm angle, so we mentioned Trey Savage has got his arm angle is almost like at 12 o'clock, and then Tyler Rogers is almost like 5:30-ish because it's so low. His slider tops out around 72 miles an hour, and his four-seam fastball tops out around 83. So it's not a lot of velocity, but the movement is just insane. So as you said, Lindsay or Dan, imagine 6 innings of Savage. You're looking at the ball coming over top, and then 1 inning or maybe 1 2/3 innings of Rogers as, a completely different arm angle. That's got to be baffling for players. And real quick, pretty good numbers for this dude last year. Played on 2 teams, played with the Giants and the Mets. 4-6 record, 198 ERA, 81 games, sub-1 WHIP, and 48 strikeouts. Not a ton, as Dan mentioned, because he had 77 innings pitched, but this guy is an effective reliever, has been in the past, and we hope that he's effective at the Rogers Center in 2026.
I'm going to do what I have traditionally done in the last 2 weeks of us having this awesome show Off the Roster. Thank you for everyone joining us. I'm going to go a little bit off the rails right now because I keep thinking of the guy getting hit in the face with a baseball. And I don't know if you guys have ever been hit in the face with a baseball. I can't imagine it. I played softball and I was in the outfield and I got hit in the, it's morning and my mom's watching on YouTube, the lady bits. And let me tell you, I never thought I would walk again in my life. Yes, everyone has protection. So I can't imagine getting hit in the face. And some of the guys that just get drilled by a fastball when they're at bat, and then they're just like, okay, I'm going to walk to first. I'm a little angry. I just don't understand even the adrenaline rush. But Dan, have you been hit by a baseball during play?
I have not, actually. I'm lucky enough that I have not been hit by a baseball in play, but I have been in a situation where I am the batter and I hit a comebacker right at the pitcher. And I felt terrible. Like, I don't know what you're supposed to do in that situation. Like, hey, I didn't do this on purpose, but you kind of still feel bad in the moment. There's no way to get around that.
Painful. I've been hit in the face. This stupid round face.
What?
Been like I mean, bro, I was playing house league. So it wasn't. I was maybe 60 miles an hour, and I was wearing braces at the time too, so my whole mouth was just pouring with blood. I think I was 14 or whatever, 13 or 14. Anyway, I recovered, I think.
Our chat right now on YouTube, again, thank you for everyone that is following and subscribing underneath the Nation Network. We have stories of getting a football in the groin, baseball in the face, getting stitches, and I was like, so let's get out of this and maybe talk about a little bit of joy. And money brings a lot of people joy, and it's time now for the 416 pick. When watching your favorite sports makes things interesting with ProLine. Must be 18 plus to bet in store, 19 plus to bet online with ProLine Plus. Must be in the province of Ontario at the time of play. Please play responsibly. Dan, talk maybe a little Raptors.
Yes, let's look at the Raptors and Heat tonight. And mentioned earlier in the show that Mamu is saying the Raptors need to get some more 3 balls off, and I think he can help with that. So I'm going with Mamu to go over 9.5 points tonight for the Raptors against the Heat as they look to attempt a few more threes, and I think Mamu is going to be a big part of that. So I'm going with Mamu over 9.5.
Same game, Dan. Miami Heat. I'm rocking with Normie. Norm Powell, who is averaging 25 points a game, 50% from the field, 44% from downtown. He is a 3-level scorer, and I'm locking in Normie, who's playing his old team, and there's probably a little bit of that revenge seasoning, a little bit of like, ex-girlfriend over there. The dude's in shape, more in shape than he was at the Clippers. So over 21.5 points for Norm Powell tonight is my 416 pick on ProLine.
And Normie expecting his first little one with his partner. Congratulations, Mr. Norman Powell. Right. Yeah, he can name it Off the Roster. Sounds like a great name for a baby. All the suggestions. Off the roster, yeah. So when we talk about Toronto teams, TFC, not the best season, but sometimes when you get told you look like someone, that could help boost your confidence if maybe you're having a bad moment on the field. Take a listen to local TFC star. I like to call him Oreo. You'll know when you hear him and see about a doppelganger that he's been mistaken for.
I've gotten that a few times now, I guess, and I
Bad
guess at
Bunny.
times I can see it. I get it. I see the resemblances.
Have
It's
anybody
kind of
like
funny.
actually mistaken you for him?
I think there was one time that I think there was like somebody did like a double take, and then once they realized it wasn't Bad Bunny, I could see the disappointment in their face. So that was kind of funny.
Jonathan looking like Bad Bunny. I see it. Do you guys see it?
I see it.
He
I see it a little
yeah,
bit.
he's definitely got some Bad Bunny vibes, Jonathan Osorio.
Yeah, hoping that he got some free tickets, anything, I don't know, private jet, whatever works for him.
He could probably go to the, hit up one of the clubs in Las Vegas, say, I'm Bad Bunny, and maybe he'll just get in, like the Bieber doppelgangers that try that every once in a while.
Those people are never going to live that down, but I love it. If you were to try to sneak into a place, who do you think you could pull off, Dan? Who have you been told that you look like?
Well, I've been told enough recently that Baker Mayfield is the one I could maybe get away with, at least facial wise, because fitness wise, it's not going to work. But I'm going to go. Like I went to Seahawks Bucks earlier this year, and as I'm walking to my seats, a bunch of Seahawks fans are like, "Baker, what are you doing in the seats? Get down on the field, bro!" And I'm just like, "Whoa, guys, like." Thanks for the compliment, but I'm not Baker Mayfield, as you know. And it was kind of funny. But yes, Baker Mayfield. He's even got the ears sticking out kind of like I do. So it's a little too close for comfort.
You got to go as Baker for Christmas, for Halloween next year, dude.
Just a little bit of the eye
all year round.
Yeah, a little bit of the eye black, a Bucks hat and everything.
This is always such a touchy subject because anytime somebody's told me I look like someone, I'm like, I don't want to be told I look like that person, and keep it off the chat right now. I don't want to hear who you think I look like.
Go ahead, Lindsay. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think I look like this person when I put on my makeup for the camera. Dee Schneider from Twisted Sister.
What?
Like my hair's naturally curly. So before I get on here and then my makeup runs down my face, same. I see it. I might as well embrace it.
Same.
I feel like same. Could be my much older sister. So I'm not that wrong.
I see the resemblance.
This picture is frightening. That is
Cabbie, I don't even know if I want to show what our producer picks. I don't know if it's going to get us canceled or not because I haven't seen it. So I'm just going to take a drink while this photo comes up.
Oh, for me. Oh, Anthony Anderson. Yeah. I just look like just other fat black guys. And Anthony Anderson, he's much slimmer now.
Drink out.
But at a time, we had the same round, doughy face, cherubic face. Yeah. And listen, I would love to have his career. This guy's super talented. But yeah, I just look like fat black guys. That's okay. I said it. That's okay. Don't make things uncomfortable.
I disagree. I also spit my drink out, which is vanilla Coke in my cup right now. And this is a whole mess happening over here in the Dunn household. But another thing that is happening that maybe people are going to have a spit take when they hear about who is announced as one of the international performers for the upcoming Olympic Games, the opening ceremonies, the Queen of Christmas, but also an icon, a legend, one of the best vocalists of all time, Mariah Carey. And Cabbie, people are a little salty about this, saying that she doesn't deserve to be there, which I'm surprised, and we know everyone complains on the internet, but what?
Mariah Carey is iconic. The opening opening ceremonies at any Olympic Games is a giant television show. It's a television show for the world. So why not get one of the icons of music of her generation or any generation to be a part of the ceremony? I imagine some people complained when Lady Gaga was performing in the opening ceremony for the Paris Games that we saw last summer. But it's a television show. So, why not have one of the greatest vocalists of all time and a certified hit maker be a part of your opening ceremony? I like the move to have Mariah Carey perform at Milano in February the 3rd or 4th or whatever the date is. I mean, salute. And she might not be able to sing the Christmas song that we're all familiar with, but Visions of Love? Oh. Track 1 on her debut record, that is a banger. And
Daydream.
One Sweet Day with maybe she brings out Boys to Men. That had it was 12 or 13 weeks at number 1. That was a huge record. I mean, a lot down tempo. We're gonna need, we're gonna need hey New York in the house, it's Brooklyn in the house.
Oh, when you walk by
There you go.
every night, talking to me, looking back, I'm gonna stop it. How about this? I'm so sorry for people whose cats started to screech when they heard this. Dogs probably
Wow.
started to howl after
Look
hearing
at how
this.
many people are jumping off the YouTube chat right now.
Oh wow! Hey. Oh my gosh! But
Makes sense.
Cabbie, you know what? I would like to audition you to be a part of the opening ceremonies. You will be there, and I would love to hear maybe a song, maybe a holiday song right now for the Toronto Maple Leafs, if you wouldn't mind, entertaining us.
I'm inspired by Mariah Carey's Christmas song that she's going to make $1 billion for her kids for the rest of time, because that song will be playing from now until infinity. But inspired by Alan Sherman's Camp Granada song, and I also have to recognize the Italian composer, who I might butcher his name, is Amilcare Ponchielli's La Gianconda, the Dance of the Hours. I present to you my Maple Leafs holiday tune. It's December, snow is falling, pessimism is snowballing. Craig Berube preaching focus. Third line unit scoring is a nice bonus. Competition in the Atlantic has the fan base in a panic.
Hell yeah.
Hold a vision above 500. Christmas time, let's drink wine. Playoffs aren't dead. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. 10 out of 10, no notes.
I will be Simon Cowell in this.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I will be Simon Cowell. I felt like you lacked heart and energy, or disgrace to the vocalists that have chosen to do this as a career. And
we need a British accent there, Linz. Come on.
Oh, I almost was like, oi, I don't even know what. No,
Yeah,
I can't.
okay.
Wow, I can't even think of it. So would you like a biscuit after that brutal take? Maybe some tea for your tears? I don't even know. I'm just kidding. That was awesome. I loved it. That's fun. I'm so sorry. Congratulations to you on being great on everything, Cabbie, and just giving the listeners and audience so much joy.
That was objectively terrible. That's it.
I think it was great.
I'm never going to do karaoke. And I think I heard a streetcar crash outside of my window after I landed the plane in Lake Ontario. That's how terrible that was. Totally missed Billy Bishop Airport and just landed over there by the nude beach. Thank you for your kindness, but that was objectively horrendous.
A nude beach in December. Chilly. But Cabbie, what will bring people some joy tomorrow is the guests that you had a chance to speak with. What can people
Dylan Larkin, let's go. Atlantic Division is nuts right now. I think there's only one team with a below 500 record, and it's not the Detroit Red Wings. But I spoke to the captain. We're gonna have that conversation tomorrow, and I got him to open up about signing a contract in a very particular place. I hope you guys can check us out on Off the Record on Tuesday.
Cannot wait. And we'll have some more Leafs talk. We'll have some updates. They're practicing today. We'll recap what happened in the Raptors game, where I know people hoping for a big dub. A lot to talk about in the sports world. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Off the Roster.
Hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more Off the Roster content, make sure to like and hype this video and subscribe to the Nation Network YouTube channel.